everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. Today we're going to start a new edition or a bunch of odd jobs and small projects. Don't know how long it'll take me to get it finished, but we're going to start today. Here's the first thing we got to deal with. This tire has gone flat for the last time. I'll show you what we're going to do about it. I got here a pair of flat-free solid urethane tires. Problem is, I should have read the ad or the listing more carefully. These have bushings in them, not bearings like those ones have. Anyway, it is what it is. The problem with these is it's going to cost me so much to send them back. It's pointless to send them back. So what we're going to do, I have figured out what I'm going to do, but we'll do that later because I don't have time to deal with it right now. So for now, I bought these ones that also have bushings. What are you going to do? But they were a heck of a lot cheaper. And I actually have a use for these when I'm done with them on here. So they're not going to be on here for long. They're just going to be on here to get us through the rest of grass cutting season. And the bushing should be okay for that long. Alrighty, I got these things on here and greased up. Like I said, they'll get me through a couple of mows. Here's a good job for today. We've got a new barrel for our burn barrel because our old one finally rotted away. So what we do with these, you get a barrel and I cut 3 or 4 holes in the bottom of it. That lets air get in and it also gives me a place to poke and it lets the water come out. So we'll be doing that with the old air chisel. Alright, so we've got our vent holes made and I punched a few drain holes in the bottom of it. Now we can put it to work. So what I got to do now is go in and make sure I actually bought a fire permit for this year. And once I confirm I have a 2023 fire permit, I can phone the number that's on it, make sure burning is permitted at this time, and we can fire this baby up. We're good. I've got a good permit and I phoned the number and they say burning is permitted at this time. So our mission today, I've got a whole bunch of old pallets that are broken and rotted. So we're going to, once we get the fire going, we're going to start sawing those up and getting them in there to burn. And away she goes. It'll stink a little bit at first while it burns all the paint off the barrel, but that's how it goes. And then it'll turn into a good old rusty mess. And then once it settles down, we'll start heaving all this stuff in. It's good and dry, and that'll get it stoked up pretty well. Next thing I have to do is get a core engine ready because since I got that 390 at the wreckers, they charged me like $100 and something core charge for the bloody engine. So I really need to find an old V8 engine to take back there. So, well, I've got this one. It's a 69 318. Nick from the Real Guy Garage gave it to me. I just want the crankshaft and the floating connecting rods out of it, and the rest of it is junk. So my plan was to bring it over here to the shop and get what I want off it and get it ready to go in as the core engine. So I went to pick it up with the tractor, and I looked at the stand and I said, man, that stand looks really tall. It looks like it might be a little tippy. So I picked it up with the loader, and on the way over here, I found out, yes, it is very tippy. Over she went. Like it's just a piece of scrap, and it fell down in the gravel, not on, on my floor in here or on the paved part of the driveway. So we got the crane here. We'll get it stood back up and start working on it. Well, we can see here that it isn't really any taller than my other one. So, it was probably my screw up that made it dump, I guess. Maybe I had the forks too close together or something, or maybe it would have helped to put a strap on it or something. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's there now. Now we can dig into this thing and see what we can find. Well, that's that. Our 318 is toast. And here's what I've got left of it. A nice set of floating rods. These are so much nicer to work with, especially if you like to fart around with engines at home. Pressed pins are, you can work with them, but floating pins are just so much easier. and I kept the balancer from it, although I think it's a 69 balancer and the top dead center mark is going to be on the wrong side. But I'm not too sure about that. We'll keep it for now. And we got a nice clean crankshaft out of it. Unfortunately, it's a cast crank. This engine is a 69. I think 68 was the last year for the forged crank in small blocks, except in 340s, of course. I'm talking 273, 318. This one up here, you can see there, that is a forged crank from a 68 318. I'm pretty sure in the last video, we just got this thing fixed up. We got 2 new tires on the front. We added a spare tire to the back of it there, remember? For peace of mind. And now this happened. Look. Kaboom. The tire split and the tube came out and blew. And I think our spare tire is even flat too. No, it's got air in it. So anyway, at that point, I decided I have had enough. And I bought 4 airless flat free tires. So we're going to go ahead and put these things on and see how that improves it. There we go. Got them all on. It sure rolls nice. And now hopefully for the rest of time, I'll never ever have to fix a tire on this bloody thing again. It was good for probably the first 10 years I had it, when it still had the original wheels and tires on it. But once the first one went, the rest of them went in quick succession, and it's just been a disaster ever since trying to keep wheels and tires on it, because they fail as fast as you put them on. We are really being taken advantage of, as far as I'm concerned, by international scumbags that are pretty good at taking our money and sending us back garbage for it. But anyway, whatever. Enough of that. I've got this pair. This is a new pair that I bought and put on it. So I'm going to keep those because I've got a 2-wheeled cart that's got a tire that keeps going flat. So we'll put these 2 new ones on it, and then these ones will all get shuffled to the I don't know, I'll figure out what to do with them later pile. Here's our next little job. We've got to protect our power washer from freezing, because we were using it through the summer, so the pump and the lines and stuff have got water in them, and it'll split the pump if you just throw it in the shed and let it freeze. Millions of power washers are split in half needlessly every fall. So what we've got here, this is a little thing. That's basically a fresh water pump from an RV, and we've got it. You can see there we've got the inlet side of it hooked to a jug of plumbing antifreeze, and it's gonna force it through the pump, out through the line, and we'll see it come out over there. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, you can see the water level going down, and you can hear it working. And there we have it. Done. Now our pump is protected. Here's the next job we've got to do. We got these 2 potted plant holders or bird feeder holders. I don't know. I'm sure there's a proper name for them that escapes me. But somebody had bent them here. So what we're going to do is we're going to heat them up, and we're going to bend them back so that they can stick in the ground like they're supposed to. So we got the old oxyacetylene set up here. Let me just get it going. There we go. And we'll just get these things red and straighten them out. I probably could have done this without heating them up, but look at that. It just makes it so much easier. There we go. Alright, now we'll do the other one. And while I've got the torch lit, because I'll need it for this, we're going to take this old 9-inch rear end apart. It's a mess. There won't be anything easy getting this thing apart. So we're going to start. We'll get the axles out and this old hunk of drive shaft off. And it'll just be bolt by bolt, heat them up and work them out. I might get these ones in here. I might be able to get these with the air impact. That'd be okay if that'd help. Okay, now we gotta one by one try to get what's left of these nuts off. Oh boy, that might not be very fun at all. There we are. We got it out. One thing I found interesting, this was a 4-wheel drive truck, and I would have guessed if anything would be 31 spline, it would be this, but no. It's a 350 gear from a 4-wheel drive truck, and it's 28 spline. That's quite strange. Well, it is what it is, right? Doesn't really matter, but I don't know. I just found it curious. Now we got to do some work to this here wagon. It's it's taken a bit of a beating lately. Mostly this tire keeps going flat. And I found that it's tubeless. So I got a tube for it. We'll put a tube in it. And hopefully that'll solve that problem. The other three seem to be doing just fine. This here, the rear bulkhead of it, it split and fell out. So I've got that glued up. We'll get that back in. And then I got to find a piece of wood. I got to make a front bulkhead for it. And we'll get that put back in. This wheel is held on with one of these goofy cap things. And I don't feel really much like disturbing it. So we'll just do it in situ. I've busted both beads, so now we gotta just get the knife to slice the old valve stem out of there, and we'll pop the outer side of the tire off with our tire irons here, and then we'll put the tube in. Here's our new tube, and it's a nice thick feeling one. I like this tube. Usually they feel really cheap and flimsy. This one's not bad. Okay, so we got to find the hole, the valve stem hole. We'll stick our little tool through there, right? And then, let me see here. Okay, it goes through the tube like that and grabs that, see? Just like that. Okay? And then we fish this thing into here. Hard to believe, but little tires, the smaller they are, the bigger pain in the neck they are to get together. Hang on, I got an idea. There, that's more better. Yeah. Come on. What have I done here? Well, I've screwed this up royally. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Wow, this is a really stiff tube. And oh, we almost got it. Oh, we did it. Okay. Now you just got to kind of, there we go. There, oh, look at that. And there she is. Okay. So now I'll show you a trick to get these goofy little tires back on. We got to be careful. We don't want to pinch our new inner tube, right? So we're going to get it down, start it there, and just put a vice grip on it. And then let me get my tire iron. And we'll just start working our way around. Like I said, the smaller tires are more hassle than big tires. Oop, almost there. Look at that. There. Okay. Now we get a needle nose vice grip. Pull the valve stem out. Grab it with this little guy. Because we don't want it to fall back in. No, 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 no. We don't want that. Then we have to take the whole thing apart again. There. Take that off, and then I got to find my tire blower upper. It's got to be here somewhere. Oh, look at that. It's right there. Let me get the air line. There we go. When these tires get old, they start to crack and they leak right through the sidewalls. There. And we'll just let that kind of bleed down. You'll hear a lot of air hissing. That's because the tube was completely flattened, but the entire cavity of this tire was basically had air in it, right? So as the tube starts to grow, it pushes all that air out. So you just give it a second to equalize. And there we go. Perfect. That went pretty well, I have to say. Where's our valve cap? There it is. Put that on there. And that's our tire done. All right, there's our little wagon all fixed up. I got the rear bulkhead back in. We made a new front bulkhead. That's good. One of these days I should get some pieces of oak and make all new sides and ends for it. But you know what? For now, this is just fine. Here's a job I'm going to attempt. These are two magnetic LED lights. This one here, I had it, I had it somewhere up high and I knocked it and it fell down. And ever since it fell down, it doesn't work. The batteries are still okay, but it just won't work anymore. Now this one also fell down and went smash. And the arm and the magnet and everything flew off it, but it still works. So I'm going to take it apart and see if I can fix it. Maybe we can even use some parts from this one to make it work. I'm not sure. First, we're going to pull the back off of this one because that's the detent mechanism for the arm. And there's only one there. The other one, I think, is maybe in there somewhere. Or it's gone. It could be anywhere in this garage. So there's what's in it. There's not much to these things. You just take a few screws out and then pop these side covers off. and it just all comes out. So this piece is broken, and I don't think there's a lot we're going to be able to do with that. These little screws, they're screwed into the back sides of these, and you can see it's pulled the screws out. So we're going to take this one apart and see what we can do. I mean, this is actually a much better unit. Maybe I could transfer the electronics from that one into this one. That'd be the way to go. But anyway, we'll see. Well, they're definitely similar, but a little bit different. But I do think I can transfer this arm assembly into this one. We're going to try that. There we go. Good as new. So here's a cool thing we got at the swap meet, and it's something I've actually been looking for quite some time. It's a SU X825 valve seat concentricity gauge. That's a mouthful. So what you do is you drop this down over your mandrel, right? You would use this after you replaced the valve seats. So in old flatheads where they had the seats pounded into the block, or if you were installing new valve seats in an overhead valve head, once you're done, you use this gauge to make sure that you've got the valve seat in perfectly flat. In other words, completely perpendicular to the valve guide. So what you would do is this would be this bolt will simulate the mandrel that you push into the guide. That the stones run around when you're refacing the valve seats. So you would drop this thing over, right? And then the mandrel touches the plunger on the back of the dial gauge, and then you would set this little feeler or probe right onto the valve seat, and then turn the thing around, and you're looking for any run out. You shouldn't have any. And that's what this gauge does. Now, unfortunately, you can see here the dial gauge is smashed on this, but the rest of it is intact and complete. So, here's one that I got some time ago. This is an X826, and it's basically the same thing, but it's got a 1/2-inch mandrel. It runs on a 1/2-inch mandrel. This is for big, heavy duty engines that would have like big 7/16 and 1/2-inch valve guides. So what we can do is loosen these set screws, and we're going to take this dial indicator out and put it on this guy and get it all cleaned up. Let's see how we do. Alrighty, I got everything freed up and taken apart. It was there was a few sticky parts to it, but we're all good now. So now we're going to go ahead and pop the dial indicator out of the 1/2-inch one and swap it into this one. So here it is, all fixed up, ready to use. I wish I had an old cylinder head in here. I'd show you how it works, but one of these days we'll use it on one of our jobs and you can see it in action. Here's the other one. I just stuck the old gauge in it for now. That's the only thing really wrong with this one. It just needs a new dial gauge. So maybe we could find one and fix that one up. But this is the one that we'll be using. All right, that'll do it for this load of odd jobs and small projects. We got a lot done, and I'm sure by the time the next one rolls around, we'll get a lot more done. Anyway, I'm checking out now. I'd like to thank you for tuning into our little channel here. Hope you come back and see us again. And until then, I'm Kevin, saying so long from the Claremont Classic Garage.